we go. We'll see if Bleed Esports can force us to a game 3 or not. Neon, again, looking for a very strong 2-0 victory if they can get it. Laning stage is going to be so important for them. Bad news, by the way. It seems like there's a power outage for John, so he might be gone for a couple of hours. So you might have to kind of just listen to me for the next game at the least. So we are going to have a quick pause coming out here from Castaway. Always a Discord issue, apparently. Nobody knows how to use Discord anymore. See if we get a level 1 team fight as well. Like, plenty of lines being drawn out here from Bleed to kind of loop around through the Radiant jungle and try to go for an early team fight. They do have some decent level 1 team fight abilities here on their side of things with their own draft. We'll just wait out this pause from Neon Esports before we can get going again. Neon is obviously smoked up, trying to get some wards down. I mean, there's not really too much to talk about. These teams haven't really done too much yet. We're still just getting into game number 2. The go-ahead is there from Castaway, so Discord issues have been resolved. We'll get the game underway now. There is a bit of a group up here from Bleed, but I highly doubt they'll make the move in to try... Here we go again. CDR now needs a pause. There's no way these Discord issues can keep happening. Like, we're in 2024. There's no way that these players don't know how to use Discord. Well, Paulison, I think, is saying something inappropriate. I'm not 100% sure. But I appreciate the fix your problem. Oh, I don't know what Paulison's saying, but it doesn't look very appropriate. Perhaps we'll ask later on. It's nice to see both Paulison and Castaway just kind of going at it here with each other. Nice little bit of banter here for this game number 2. The classic fix your problem is the call. As Bleed Esports now. They do indeed smoke up. They are wrapping through that Radiant jungle, so perhaps still looking for that level 1 team fight.
30 seconds to battle.
CDR and Castaway, they are both going to show up. DJ, though, having his smoke broken, will still run into CDR. They are not prepared. It's a quick disruption out, but it was a bit preemptive as now. They do catch out DJ, and it seems as though DJ is going to be left behind. First Blood is going to go the way of Castaway, so at the very least, you don't hand it over to CDR. But it's still a great start for the Chen. Even as a POS 5, you'll be very happy with that kind of start, as Ken, chasing for a little bit more, is not really going to be able to find anyone else.
Oh, thank God.
So Bleed, they still end up getting themselves 3 bounty runes here, which is definitely great news for them. But First Blood going the way of the Chen is just going to mean he has even more sustain for the laning stage, which makes it even harder to actually deal with this bottom lane. But for now, of course, we'll start with the middle lane here against Makoto and Ken. Makoto, the signature puck against Ken on what appears to be his signature void based off his last performance. I mean, Makoto should obviously have some harass advantage, but Ken will have the CS advantage. As long as he can kind of sustain through the initial harassment coming in from Makoto. See if he can do so. Of course, he should have a quick bottle up anyway, so should be just fine. I don't really... In fact, I do kind of expect support rotations to come out, because you do have an Ench and a Chen. I think both mid laners will probably have to be somewhat careful about those rotations. Speaking of the devil, bottom lane, Castaway. It's going to be up, or rather, with CDR against DJ and Masaros. Speaking about this earlier during the drafting stage, but there is a lot of kill potential here from DJ and Massa. See, with the disruption set up into the hoof stop, you can get a guaranteed stun on practically anyone down to this bottom lane. We'll see when they get going. I mean, you probably want at least a few points in double edge before you really go for those kill attempts. And of course, top lane, speaking of kill potential, Paulison's in trouble now. Paulison goes down. JG and Bombi able to secure a pretty nice kill for themselves. JG already picking up his first kill of the game. And this is the guy I don't think you really want to be giving kills over to. Like, this guy's mag is already extremely potent as it is. He tends not to lose the lane very often either on this Magnus. And then you hand over a kill like that onto the Ench, and that's going to mean that JD's life is even easier in this game too. So already a fantastic start for Neon coming into this game too. Bombi being harassed for a bit. He'll be okay though. It seems as though Paulison not really able to get as much harass as he would like. Kind of the thing as well, like as an Ench player, you never really want to lose the laning stage as an Enchantress, because you really should just be winning based off your skill set. Trying his best to harass Bombi away from this laning stage, but Bombi just finding value anyway. Even gets the Void's Courier. The Jackie's going to lose that Wraith Band he wanted. And this is kind of what I was talking about during the drafting phase. Like, Bombi is just one of those position 4 players that is just ultra annoying to have to deal with, and he always picks these position 4s that nobody likes playing against, such as the Techies or the Hoodwinks. So it's one of those things you always got to keep an eye out for this guy, just as to what he's doing on the map, because he's always doing something a little bit cheeky. Looking back into the mid lane, Ken and Makoto. Ken still having a pretty damn good time, 15-4. Again, he does have the advantage when it comes to the CS. Makoto hasn't really done the best job in terms of harassing the Void Spirit, so Ken is still getting away with quite a lot by the looks of it, not really threatened whatsoever. Bottom lane, I mean, DJ Massa still having a relatively good time, but unable to slow down CDR that much. I think Masseros is still waiting for the level 3 mark to try and really go for the hoof stomp attempts here with DJ. Just wanting that maybe that level 2 double edge to get going. Perhaps even the level 2 hoof stomp might do. But now though, it seems as though they're more than happy just allowing the Centaur to farm, which is absolutely fair. It just seems as though that's the way you play position 3 these days. Masseros is going to find himself at the top of the CS board for now. CDR, throw out a stun onto DJ. DJ being slowed up here by Castaway to boot, and Castaway again going to take the kill. I believe it was his creep, the ghost, that ends up hitting him for that last hit. The Castaway going to be very, very happy with the start he's had on the Chen. Even forcing Masseros to go for the level 1 retaliate is fair enough against the Chen, but it's not going to feel too good in terms of this combination for the offlane that you do have. Again, Neon Esports 3-0 currently in terms of kill score, so feeling extremely good for the start of this game too. Or even JG now top of the CS board on the Magnus, not really struggling whatsoever up against Jackie's Void. It's kind of the thing with Void as well. We have been seeing this hero pop up a lot, but it does need quite a bit of farm to actually feel like it can do some form of damage. Chrono's nice to have at all stages of the game, but the damage output of the Void is just not going to be there for the first 20-25 minutes. You will need someone to back him up. JG, I mean, they're trying their absolute best to slow down the mag. It's just JG's not threatened whatsoever. He's already got double Wraith Band, so the armor is just plentiful. Stats are plentiful here for the mag, and going to be a bit of a bad feeling here for Paulison, because he does end up losing out the lane as the Ench. It's just sometimes it's not much you can do about it. Or even Jackie now having to suffer a little bit when it comes to the CS department against this Magnus. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Disruption is going to ensure that CDR is unable to get a stun off onto DJ or Masseros. They'll still manage to get it off onto the illusions at the least, so it doesn't take too much damage, as now Paulison's rotated. Paulison seeing no value in sticking around at the top lane, does rotate bottom through the Twin Gate. You do have a 5-minute siege creep timing here for Paulison, so he's trying to get as much as he can out of this 5-minute siege creep. With the full creep wave behind him, he might get away with this tower. If this keeps up, it'll be a pretty big loss for Neon Esports, as Makoto, speaking of big losses, does go down to the mid lane to Ken. Now Ken, he just rotates into the bottom lane. I mean, sure, you lost a lot of damage or a lot of HP onto that tier 1 bottom tower, but it does still remain alive. So CDR will still be able to get at least a few more minutes of value out of that tower, and that's going to be more than enough, I think, for him. Had they gotten the bottom tier 1, it would have put CDR in a very awkward position, but With the T1 still standing, he's going to be perfectly fine with that. Poor old Paulson just looks lost as to what to do here. Like, he just rotates up top, gets scanned out, can't help Jackie anyway. Very, very rough kind of situation here for the side of Bleed, at least for the laning stage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Are scanning.
See, we did not get to see how Makoto died earlier, but I believe there was a rotation from Castaway to help him out, or it could have been even Bombi. Ken finding those pickoffs into Makoto 2 games in a row is going to feel very, very good. Well, Paulson will get some deep wards down in that Radiant Triangle, just trying to scout out any stacks that are being made for the mag. Bobby has certainly been around that area stacking up those camps.
My friend rewarded.
Things coming out on Bombi. Bombi is going to be just fine. It just feels like Neon are getting away with pretty much whatever they want. The Castaway's just freely farming the jungle. CDR's been left bottom alone, but he's perfectly safe. Mid lane, they could make a jump in on Makoto as Castaway has rotated. This is for the 8-minute power rune timing. Makoto, he's going to get lucky with the top power rune spawning up, and he does get a nice regen rune for himself. Ken. And they could try to jump the Void, but he looks like he's a bit of a tanky target to deal with right now. Ken's looking around for some support here. He'll get a nice Aether Remnant. They'll find Paulson. Paulson, he'll have the Stampede to help him get away. That's going to be about it here for Bleed. They do not want the fight. Makoto is still being chased down by Ken, but there is no Aether Remnant to lock him down, so Makoto will be just fine. Asteros from the bottom lane will ensure that everyone remains alive for Bleed Esports. So that is kind of the story of the game so far, just Bleed not wanting to play any kind of aggressive game up against Neon, as they are going to find Paulson now top lane. Paulson skewered back into the tier 1 tower. Is okay for now, but the RP. Oh, JG just not messing about at all. That RP was super unnecessary, but I think JG was just sending a message. Just making sure that they secure the kill. And kind of just telling Bleed Esports, listen, I don't need this RP. You can have it. What a message it was. Bleed Esports still yet to pick up a kill here in this game number 2. Very, very rough kind of game for them thus far. The one saving grace is the fact that Masros is farming decently well here in the Centaur, but that's really about it. EJ, body blocks out from Castaway, a nice Hurricane back. Castaway showing his prowess here on these micro heroes, and Ken's going to jump in for an easy pickup on a DJ by the seams of it. It's Ken picking up his 2nd kill of the game now. My goodness, Castaway in this channel has been just fantastic, setting up more and more kills as the game does continue and finding absolute value. They even look to perhaps rotate mid, secure a 10-minute power rune, and maybe go for that tier 1 mid tower. Makoto is able to outclick Ken. Let's get a nice damage amp rune for himself on the puck. There's going to be a bit of a group up down a bottom lane. 4 heroes, in fact, from Bleed Esports around this bottom area.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'll see Castaway's creeps, but Castaway will be okay to back everything off.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Bleed Esports desperately want to just try and take that tier 1 bottom tower, but it's... I believe CDR's already gotten the value he wanted. He won't mind losing that tower anymore. In fact, Neon, they're going to start pressuring the mid tier 1 tower while all this is happening. They've got that 10-minute siege creep timing going, so... Bleed Esports need to find a way to defend this, and they are going to TP more and more heroes in. Ken threatening with the astral steps, but ultimately won't really find too much. Half the HP of the mid tier 1 tower is going to be lost here for Bleed. They will not protect the siege creep though. Even with Castaway around with 3 creeps, it doesn't seem as though they're going to try for it. Instead, they'll head up top, see if they can pressure Jackie out of that top lane. Good timing as well, because JG just picked up the Echo Saber, so you've got plenty of damage available, plus the RP available against the Void if they need it. Instead, though, Castaway.
Gotcha.
May spot out Paulson in a moment. Mombi's going to see him as well. Paulson will get hit by the Bushwhack, and the sharpshooter's going to ensure that JG is able to find a very easy kill on the mag. And I hate to keep saying this, but there is still yet to be a kill for Bleed. It's 7-0 right now in the favor of Neon Esports. And this should be a very easy top tier 1 tower to take here for Castaway and the gang. Nothing that can really be done to slow this down if they don't TP the numbers in. Instead, Makoto's going to try and push in the mid tier 1 tower. Try to get that trade going for himself with the damage and proof that he does have. The TP is going to be incoming from Ken to ensure they do not lose the mid tier 1. And they'll still get the top tier 1 tower anyway. With the Chen creeps available from Castaway, it just takes no time. They don't need the heroes to be there. Yeah, Castaway can basically do it himself, assuming he's allowed to hit the tower. But things are just getting worse and worse for Bleed. There's just no farm coming in really from their end of things. Keep in mind, like with the start that Neon have had, this is an Alchemist draft for the Chen. They could take off so quickly. In roughly 10 minutes, things could escalate out of control for Bleed Esports if they don't get this game under control. Seems like for now, Bleed just kind of stuck playing the catch-up game. They don't really have too much of a choice in the matter. And slowing down CDR is no longer an option. He's going to have that Radiance up very soon. It's on the courier as we speak. We'll have it up in about 10 seconds. And his farm will just escalate out of control now. There it is. It's his up. Stampede is popped. They're going to try and go after Bombi. Bombi actually going to mess around here with the sharpshooter, but will still end up going down. Just gets his spells out before he does die. It's not really the big kill you've wanted here. Bombi won't mind dying too much. Gives a bit of information over as to where Bleed were as well. Castaway. We spotted out by Jackie, but Jackie does not seem very confident. There are a lot of creeps here from Castaway. He's got the shard golems available, so a lot of stuns and a lot of damage to be thrown out if he so wishes. But he will not yet. He'll hold out. He needs an extra body to come in. Ken is on his way. If you get the initial stuns off on Jackie, you can blow him up. Jackie will back off. Instead, Polison is looking to tank the gank here for his carry. Polison indeed will go down. Massaros, though, will show up. Ken in danger. Jackie holding onto the chrono for now. The Dream Coil, it's off the mark. Jackie's still holding onto the chrono. Ken, though, he looks to turn around now. Is Jackie and the gang. They are looking to back their way out. In comes JG. Massaros, he'll stun up the Magnus. But it looks like Massa in huge trouble and will be left behind to die. This Castaway will completely block him up. A third kill here for the Chen. Bleed, I mean, they just don't have gameplay. I mean, the chrono, I guess, could have been committed. The problem is Jackie knows they don't have the damage. Like, Makoto wouldn't have had it, Jackie wouldn't have had it, and nobody else can really offer the damage apart from him and the puck. Maybe later on you could kind of trust that Polison will be able to throw a few impetus in there, but for now he hasn't even got it skilled up. The mid-tier 1 tower now going to be completely under siege here from Neon Esports. Again, if you're Bleed, you have to avoid the fights right now. You have to avoid any kind of initiations.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Just defend your towers and hope that you can catch up and keep up with CDR. Speaking of the Devil, CDR currently 3k ahead of the Void. In a prime position now, does have the blink up, so can initiate for his team. Speaking of his team, they are still pushing in that mid-tier 1 tower. They'll take care of it. No problems here for Neon. Another nice spike coming out as well, because Castaway does have the full mech completed. So even more challenging to deal with a big team fight here from Neon Esports. The Hand of God plus the mech is going to basically make it impossible for anyone to die in the chrono. Assuming Castaway does not get caught out, he will be perfectly fine. He just keep all his allies healed up. What are you really farming right now? Like, Jackie's trying to go for a Mjolnir, which is pretty standard for the Void. That's still going to be a while away, though. CDR, in the meantime, has not queued anything up. In fact, never mind, he'll queue up the BKB now. Neon Esports, 3-man smoke up. Heading through the bottom lane. Massa.
Dire are
Very
scanning.
careful here on the Centaur, but he will back off the right moment. Just needs the recipe now to have the Shiver's Guard available to boot, so definitely does not want to die if he can avoid it at the moment.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Woo! Massaros surviving on 30 HP. So there's Ancient Creeps, that was a very close call. Bottom tier 1 tower, very easy take for
Dire's
Neon.
bottom tower has fallen.
Of course, the tier 2 tower is going to be a lot more challenging, I'd assume, but considering the 9k advantage that Neon have, maybe you just wait for the BKB to be up on CDR and you could just start pressuring those towers as well.
Dire's bottom
Well,
tower
once the
is under
BKB's up, I just don't know what you do about this Alchemist. They don't really have the control for it, that's for sure. Azeroth being pinged out again. Seems like Castaway wants to start on that bottom tier 2 tower.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Massaros, he's probably the only guy that can successfully try and defend this, but it's going to be pretty challenging. Dakota will TP in to try and help out. Massa charging forward onto the Alchemist, has found the stun, but where's your follow-up damage? It's not there. Jackie will rotate. He's got Chrono available, but again, are you going to have the follow-up damage in that Chrono? Look at Castaway, and now the RP, JG! JG's found 3 of them! Jackie, he pops the Chrono! A Castaway with the perfect setup with the creeps! And JG! What a reaction! You're just waiting for Jackie to time walk in and the perfect RP to come out! Finding all 3 targets!
Dire's bottom tower has
Oh, that is just a masterclass Magnus initiation!
Dire's
Oh,
bottom tower
Bleed
is
Esports. I mean, what do you do against that? What are you meant to do? It's just so rough. Like, at least you get Jackie out of there, but it's just so demoralizing if you are Bleed to just watch that happen to you.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh my. Now they're 12k behind. They're a tier 2 tower down. Neon Esports, they're smelling blood in the water. The Jackie is still desperately just trying to farm up the Mjolnir. At the very least, Ken is going to lose his Aghanim Scepter, so you've got that going for you. They'll get his courier. It'll be delayed by another 2 minutes, but it won't really matter too much, will it? Paulison, top lane, about to get caught out. And he's as good as dead.
Radiant's courier.
Eventually,
Radiant's
they will
top
find
tower
him.
has fallen.
So 12-1 is where the kill score stands. 11k advantage the way of Neon. And it's not getting any easier, ladies and gentlemen. This is getting much worse and worse. Just hard to know what they can do as the Stampede is now away from Massaros, trying to just move away from CDR. That should go to show you the state of the game right now. Just so challenging. It is all about the late game for Bleed. It is all about buying Jackie time to have damage in these Chronos to actually be able to kill anyone. And this is something that they're well versed in, right? Like, this is something that Motivate Trust used to do all the time. It's just buy more and more time for Jackie to get to that point where he can fight back against the opposing team. But that was a very different squad. Mind you, again, Makoto might be used to dragging out games. But he's going to need to do a lot of that on this puck. There is going to need to be a lot of creep skipping this game from Makoto. That's for sure. Right now, they might need to be doing some Roshan fighting because Roshan has started from Neon. No contest so far from Bleed. And it seems as though there will be no contest. They may even have just no idea that it's happening. On. Nice pick up here from Neon. Aegis to go the way of Ken. He's also got his courier back up in 5 seconds, so he can now afford to just buy the point booster out and have the full Ags up. And with the Ags coming in, like, it's going to make it so much harder for the Puck and the Void to survive anything. Those double silences that are going to be available for Ken are going to make it nearly impossible for Makoto and Jackie to play around the Void. Speaking of Bleed, they are going to group up as 4. They see Ken at the top lane. They would love this guy as a target. Keep in mind, he does have a secondary life, so they're going to have to commit quite a bit to kill him once, but they have got the Dream Core to lock him down. Ken is gone. That is one life, but now his team are right behind him. Bleed Esports immediately just all TPing out, but Jackie! Oh, Jackie's been left behind! He's got a TP available, but he has been left behind! Everybody else just TP'd away! That's the one guy you cannot afford to lose. I mean, at least Makoto will creep skip the top lane. But it's not a great sign when you see the whole team TP away and just leave Jackie alone like that. It's just very, very concerning to say the least if you are Bleed. And Neon are maybe just pushing through the top tier 2 tower now. The Castaway can still just do this on his own if he's allowed to. And that he will. Meanwhile, mid lane, Bobby's going to get jumped here on the Hoodwink. Massa trying for something, does at least find Bobby. But they're going to lose Policy in the meantime to Ken. The tier 2 tower is going down to CDR. Masteros at least might find himself the mid-tier 1 tower, but in comes JG, a skewer back past the tier 1. DJ is going to be around to try and help out, and that he will. JG will be unable to slow down or stop the Centaur. But still, there's no real outer towers left standing for Bleed. It's only high ground left, and we are 23 minutes into this game number 2. And the thing is, like, you look at CDR, he's not done scaling yet. He's going to have an Assault Curious up very, very soon. So even less damage to come out from Bleed Esports with all that bonus armor available. This is with Castaway having double heals available. This is with Ken, who looks unkillable himself in the Void. Oh, it's such a tough comeback to expect here from Bleed. Currently, I mean, it's not the toughest, at least according to Dota+. They're looking for a 27% win chance for Bleed Esports this game too. CDR is going to have his courier die, so the AC is going to be delayed. Thanks to the Masseros. The tier 3 mid tower is gone once again. Meanwhile, Stampede pop from Masseros trying to creep skip the mid lane, but they do glyph up the creep wave, so the creep wave is going to be just fine. The mid racks, however, at least for the dire end, is not looking too good right now. CDR, he has not stopped. Taking this one down. CDR, they'll purge him up. Jackie gonna jump in. He'll force out the BKB from CDR. They'll go for the Chrono now. Hand of God is out. Can they get through the Alchemist? He's got no Chemical Rage available. CDR is gone. But in comes JG with the double RP out. Ken, he might have the damage output. He's found the Void, and Jackie, no, he'll barely survive. Jackie is out. The Time Walker's there in time. Meanwhile, Makoto trying desperately to capitalize off this team fight. Will go after Castaway. The Chen for now is going to be okay. Will heal up with the mech, but does eventually go down. JG also being chased here by Makoto. May just drop to boot. Neon Esports, they will lose 4. And Bleed, they will literally lose nothing. It's a perfect initiation here from Bleed. You can tell Jackie, he was waiting a very long time to commit that Chrono. Finally seeing the opportunity while the Chemical Rage and BKB were committed. And it does certainly pay off. Neon, if you're Neon right now, you might be feeling a little... Ooh, Makoto! Makoto goes down. Ken picks him off solo. That's a pretty big deal here for Bleed, losing Makoto like that. At the very least, after that initial engagement we just saw, the win probability is around 50-50 again. Currently 55% the way of Neon Esports, but a much closer match now available between these two teams. Neon, I mean, maybe feeling a little bit silly, like they got the mid-tier 3 tower, but they did not claim the mid-racks. And the thing is, once that Chemical Rage is gone, CDR, he is a bit of a sitting duck. Keep in mind as well, CDR was baited that last fight with the BKB, so he really did not have to pop it. Not that it would have made the difference anyway without the Chemical Rage, but CDR certainly has to be a little bit more cautious next time around. Still plenty of time as well for the next Roshan to spawn up. Still another 2 minutes and 45 seconds till we find out when it is going to respawn. Neon, they'll bide their time. group up as 5. Smoke on smoke situation here between these two teams.
Dire are scanning.
I scan will find nothing.
Radiant are
Radiant scan
scanning.
will also find nothing. So both sides have a negative idea as to where they are. However, CDR will reveal himself on the creep wave down to the bottom lane. Bleed Esports. We're looking for perhaps a single pick-off, but not quite the 5v5 engagement, I don't think. They still look like the weaker team when it comes to the 5v5 team fights.
Radiant's middle tower
Bottom
is
T3
under
tower now
attack.
under siege. CDR this time around will be very careful, I think, with the BKB usage though. Jackie just jumping right in. Wants the Alk, and he has it. Heals coming out. CDR still alive. The RP comes in. JG trying to survive CDR, but it's not enough. The Alk is down. Maybe they can take the 5v5. Lead will keep going. They want the Void Spirit, and now Ken is gone. Another team fight where Jackie just sees the opening with the Chrono. And that was with the Chemical Rage. Castaway. Oh, Castaway's gone on a boot. Alright, even with the Chemical Rage, they had enough damage with the Impetus flying in from Polison. It was a real close call, but the BKB, without that being activated, Polison was able to help out with the damage output. And my oh my, and now Neon Esports. It's looking a lot more spicy here in this game too. I think they've missed their timing, and Bleed Esports have done a fantastic job of dragging this out long enough where they are now the favorites in this game too. 63% chance of win probability now for Bleed. It was all about just kind of getting through the timing, just waiting for Neon to make these small errors. I think at this stage, if you are Neon, you know you are in dire straits. The Alchemist, he may still feel strong, but not quite strong enough. Especially when you can just take him out like that with one solid Chrono.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Roshan, still a minute 20 away from respawning. Bleed hanging around that top lane again. Chrono is not up for another 40 seconds though, so it could be a little bit of a risky fight, but they are going to jump in on Ken. Ken actually dropping very low. There is going to be a heal coming up from Castaway, but Ken is gone. Ken is down to start off the fight. This is not what Neon wanted. JG's going to try and save with a nice skewer, but it's not helping at all. CDR is down to boot. Bleed are just running all over them now in this game too. There's 4 are down. Bombi is the only survivor, but Bombi will drop to boot. And suddenly Bleed look at the high ground. We'll go through the tier 2 top tower first. But Neon Esports,
Radiant structures are fortified.
again, backs are against the wall now.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They went from looking like the team to not looking like a team at all. That'll be the tier 2 top to go down. No saving it.
Radiant's top
Bleed,
tower
I don't believe will care to go high ground though. There's not quite enough time.
is under attack.
They'll take the Tormentor instead here for Polison. You can see Bombi kind of claiming how much damage was dealt to the Alchemist just through this Enchantress. A 1k damage from Polison. Not going to feel very nice here for the Alch. Now he's got the full Hurricane Pike as well. Things become even more challenging here for the Alchemist. And this is kind of what we were talking about in the early stages of the game. Like just having this inch to stand outside the Chrono and just deal all the damage you need is certainly going to help quite a lot here for Bleed. Assuming they can get through the timing that Neon was looking for. And Bleed, they're going to smoke up again. 5 heroes grouped up. They'll head down through the bottom lane. They know they're the much stronger team now. 8k net worth advantage to boot. And this next Roshan, of course, it does, next fight does lead to the next Roshan. Neon, they cannot afford to let this one go. CDR, he's been scattered out already. He'll pop his BKB early on, but there's nothing that's defensive with his BKB. As now the Chrono comes out, Jackie is there again with the damage output. CDR is just completely melting to the damage, and he is gone. As they are on to Ken. Ken will follow right after. They are falling apart. RP committed, but it's only on DJ. JG will drop straight after. Neon trying to get Castaway out. Castaway, he'll try to run with the penitence on Masaros, but it's not going to matter. That was even a buyback committed by Ken, but Ken, all he can do is push out the top waves. Roshan is almost certainly just going the way of Bleed Esports here, and now with an Aegis to come, it just becomes even more challenging to really fight back here up against Bleed. Even the Roshan banner now available. Jackie will take the Aegis. Roshan banner is going to be placed down a bottom lane through Masaros. So it does seem like they want to go through the bottom lane if they can with these buffed up creeps. I'll be going to go down Makoto, able to find him by himself. Like Esports. Through the bottom tier 2 tower they go.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Quite desperate here for this high ground defense. Obby is down for another 20 seconds though, which is going to make it pretty damn difficult.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Bleed. Still going through the tier 3 tower. That'll be the glyph forced down from Neon. Meanwhile, who have they got there with the hoop stop? It is going to be JG on the mag. JG forced to BKB and just skewer away, and even Castaway forced to pop the Hand of God early with the mechanism.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Bleed still going through the tier 3, do eventually find it.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Bottom racks, taking its time. Masaros is going to jump in, but JG with a nice skewer back into the tier 4 towers. Does force Masaros to pop the Stampede, and the PKB is Bombi. Just gets double-edged on the way out. Masaros just takes him with him. At least Bleed, they do not finish off the bottom lane of barracks. Makoto is forced to TP back to defend the racks. However, Jackie is still sticking around. So you've still got the issue of they are just sticking around waiting to go again. Here we go. Replay available. Jackie back onto the high ground. It's not the fastest process in the world with just avoid hitting your buildings, but you will eventually get this done. There you go. Melee barracks is gone.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
And Neon, they are nowhere nearby the base, by the way. They are pushing out the top waves. They're trying to go for maybe a bit of a base race here up against Bleed Esports. And speaking of Bleed, Makoto will jump in for a moment. Let's jump right back out. The creep wave is forced into the top racks now, so Bleed can make the choice as to whether they want to defend that or not. It seems as though they want to try and fight. Mid racks they'll go. CDR going to show himself on the top wave, so they know it's a bit of a base race now, Bleed. You've got to make a choice as to what you want. They'll bring Polison back to defend. The rest of the crew is still hanging around the mid racks. Jackie will find the melee barracks now. Makoto still threading them with his own body. It seems though Polison was able to defend that top racks on his own, by the way. It's Neon Esports. They did not commit for it. So 2 racks are still going to be lost here for Neon.
Dire's middle barracks are under
Bleed, they've not backed off yet. They might come in for the Megas. Jump is there. Bombi is gone. Dream Coil even being thrown out on JG as he skewers away. But there'll be no follow-up. Still Jackie onto the tier 3 top tower. He wants the final lane of barracks. And he might just have it. TPs are incoming. Neon, they've got to try and fight. There's no 2 ways about it. You cannot base race anymore. You've got to go for the big 5v5. JG will go for the skewer play on Jackie. They'll find the first life. The Aegis is down. Makoto in the meantime. He's been jumped by CDR, but Makoto is still finding back his way out as now Jackie. He'll jump onto the Alk. They'll get the Chrono off. Can CDR survive through the Chrono? It's not enough damage quite yet. Maybe he can, but eventually they will take him down. Makoto has died to boot, but does it really matter? I don't think it does. They'll lose Ken on the Void. And JG now. JG trying his best to survive a little bit longer. He will drop to boot. Leader onto the Ancient, and GG is called. Neon Esports. They fumble the ball mid-game. They lose a couple of fights on the high ground. And that's all Bleed needed. Just a couple of decent chronos out from Jackie to find CDR. And suddenly Bleed were back into this game number 2. And that does mean, ladies and gentlemen, we go to a game 3.